Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanandana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Radhakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sadhatam Sadhakana Raghunatam Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakantamsa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapati Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tatta Kanchana Gaurani Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisvanusute Namami Haripe Vantakalpataru Yascha Kripa Sindhujaevacha Patitanam Vaishnavyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivastani Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Srimad Bhagavad Gita Siddhis Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita Siddhis chapter 17. The divisions of faith. Text number 4. Yajanti Satvika Devan Yaksha Rakshamsi Rajasa Pretan Bhuta Ganams Chanye Yajante Tamasa Janaha Yajante Satvika Devan Yaksha Rakshamsi Rajasa Pretan Bhuta Ganams Chanye Yajante Tamasa Janaha Yajante Satvika Devan Yaksha Rakshamsi Rajasa Pretan Bhuta Ganams Chanye Yajante Tamasa Janaha Yajante Satvika Devan Yaksha Rakshamsi Rajasa Pretan Bhuta Ganams Chanye Yajante Tamasa Janaha
These flowers may give more of the way.
Jante Satvika
Yakshara Samsirajasam Vedan Buddha Ganam Shalye Yajante Tamasadana. What is this? Yajante Satika Devam Yakshara Samsirajasam Vedan Buddha Ganam Shalye Yajante Tamasadana. Yajante, worship. Satvika, those who are in the mood of goodness. Devan, demigods. Yaksharaksamsi, demons. Rajasaha, those who are in the mode of passion. Pretan, spirits of the dead. Bhutaganan, ghosts. Cha, and Anye, others. Yajante, worship. Tamasaha, in the mode of ignorance. Janaha, people. Translation and purport by Divine Grace. Let's see Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. Men in the mood of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Please repeat. Men in the mode of goodness, worship the demigods. Those in the mode of passion, worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance, worship ghosts and spirits. Purport. In this verse, the Supreme Personality of Godhead describes different kinds of worshippers according to their external activities. According to scriptural injunction, only the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipable. But those who are not very conversant with or faithful to the scriptural injunctions worship different objects according to their specific situations in the modes of material nature. Those who are situated in goodness generally worship the demigods. The demigods include Brahma, Shiva, and others such as Indra, Chandra, and the sun god. There are various demigods. Those in goodness worship a particular demigod for a particular purpose. Similarly, those who are in the mode of passion worship the demons. We recall that during the Second World War, a man in Calcutta worshipped Hitler because thanks to that war, he had amassed a large amount of wealth by dealing in the black market. Similarly, those in the modes of passion and ignorance generally select a powerful man to be God. They think that anyone can be worshipped as God and that the same result will be obtained. What is long, so we want to break it. This chapter is dealing with divisions of faith. Divisions of faith. Divisions of different levels of people's consciousness. According to the nature of their consciousness, we worship or we do things. And Krishna described different activities which we do in this world. And he categorized all of them. In ignorance, in passion, in goodness. In this verse, Krishna is talking about the people who are worshipping different kinds of worshippers. In the mode of ignorance means foolishness. And people worship ghosts and spirits. And Prabhupada said in Calcutta, there's a person who is in this category, in the mode of passion, he worshipped Hitler for wealth. And there's some people, like a group of musicians who are called the Rastafarians. The Rastafarians, they also worship human being, Haile Selassie. It's an Ethiopian man from Ethiopia. All Rastafarians, they follow Haile Selassie. It's not God, it's a human being, but he's respected and accepted as God by the Rastafarians. And they worship him. And in Egypt, it's a general principle that people worship a kind of energy they call Ra. Ra, R-A. Ra is sun god. It's not the supreme personality God, it's sun god people worship. And for them, they accept this is the supreme God. Because in the moods which they are, this is what they can understand. In this way, people are of different categories, different level of consciousness, and they worship in that way. In the mode of passion, people are worshiping the different personalities, also human beings, or ghosts in a tree. People worship them. They get some benediction from that. Slabatu Notakura. During his management, he has to meet with people like this, worshipping ghosts on the tree. And he was very, very popular, and people are accepting him to be God. So Bhakti Notakura, he called a devotee and asked him to read Bhagavatam. After 7 days, the tree collapsed and the ghost was gone. And people were not happy because they think he's interfering with their worship, because they're getting some benefit from that. Like in my village, people worship also ghosts. In my village, they worship ghosts in a tree. And every year they make sacrifice to this particular tree. And they get benefit at that time. Now they have given up the worship. But at that time, every year they bring festival on the tree. They will sacrifice anyone with varieties of boga. And the demon will really giving them protection at that time, but not this time. At that time, any person from my village, if you shoot the person, will not die. The God will not enter the body. Even if you fall from a skyscraper, you don't die. So they take the help from demigod. They get benefit from worshiping the ghost. And it's a big sacrifice they do every year. This is going on. But at times goes on, and people became more and more degraded, and that worship is not more there. But at least they have something they can worship. What is good about this is that they are better than the impersonalists. Even those who worship ghosts and spirits or demigods, they are better than those who have nothing at all to worship. Because impersonalism is there. Personalism is there, at least. It's something. Like God is a person, he has a form that one can identify with. And they're getting results from doing that. In general, even those who worship demigods, which is in the mode of goodness. And Krishna has condemned that in chapter 9, chapter 7. Krishna condemns that. In chapter 9, Krishna said, those who worship the demigods will go to the demigods. Those who worship the ghosts and spirits will go to the abodes. Those who worship the forefathers will go to the abode. But those who worship me, Krishna, they will come to me as a person. And in chapter 7, Krishna condemned demigod worship because he said they are less intelligent, which is true. Human beings begin to worship demigods, ghosts and spirits. At what point in time? It is not from the beginning when we were Krishna conscious. Demigod worship began only when we have fallen from our position. Because by nature, the idea to worship a person is there. Since we have lost our position of worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the next thing to it is demigod worship. So people take to demigod worship. We should know that it's an inferior type of worship. It is not the best. And even worshiping the demigod, the ghost or the spirit, the result which we get from them, it is temporal. Very, very devastating. Temporal and devastating. In history, there are so many people who worship ghosts and spirits. And the result is that they are not satisfied and unhappy. For example, those who are worshiping ghosts and spirits, they will be possessed by those entities. Even when they take to Krishna consciousness, it will be very difficult because their consciousness is so low that taking to Krishna consciousness is a trouble. It's a serious trouble. So it is dangerous to worship ghosts and spirits, or to worship demigods. But people do that all over the world. And the purpose is for sense gratification, not something wonderful. That is why Krishna said they are less intelligent. Less intelligent because the result is temporal. The effect, the result of that also is very, very dangerous. For example, all the personalities who have worshipped demigods and have gotten boons from them, all of them were killed by Krishna. Not single one of them was survived. All Krishna killed them. But the devotees who worship Krishna, no demigod killed them. No, Krishna himself. So, it is activity performed by less intelligent people worshipping demigods for any boon. Useless. It has effect in our devotion, in our devotional life, for worshipping them. Therefore, it is condemned in all respect. As powerful as the demons or the demigods may be, or the benedictions which they have gotten from the demigods, none of them were saved, either Brahma or Lord Shiva. Ravana was so powerful, and with his brother, so powerful. Indrajit, so powerful. But when Krishna came to kill them, Lord Shiva couldn't help them. He couldn't survive it. Even a demon like Banasura, that Lord Shiva specifically, he has a special favor of Lord Shiva. That Lord Shiva personally came. Lord Shiva didn't come to fight Lord Ramachandra for Ravana. But Lord Shiva came to fight with Krishna, directly for Krishna, for Banasura. Because Banasura has a special talent in playing the drum for Lord Shiva to dance. And Shiva was so pleased with him that he has to fight with Krishna directly. But still, he couldn't survive. And Lord Shiva did not surrender himself, he would have died. When he sent his weapon, the weapon was in trouble. Both Lord Shiva and the weapon, including Banasura, had to surrender to Lord Krishna to be saved. So no intelligent person should worship demigod for anything. Because they are not beneficial. So Krishna is speaking about it here. Another danger in worshiping demigod or spirit or ghosts is that the intelligence is so low to read the scripture. The intelligence is so low to understand that there is a higher person to be worshipped beyond the demigod or the spirit. The intelligence is so low that they consider devotional service to be so difficult. I know of a man who told me, I don't like to worship your Krishna. I don't like. Because there are so many rules and regulations for worshiping Krishna. You want to worship Krishna, chant 16, don't do this, don't do this. Even your altar, nobody can just go there except some certain class of people. There are so many rules in their worship of Krishna. I don't like. I like Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is easy. Any person, you can wear trousers to the altar, you can do anything. You can do anything and worship Shiva. This is very easy for me. So worshiping demigod make our intelligence be so low that we cannot appreciate something higher. Very dangerous. So not worshiping Krishna because it's too difficult, too high, means what? Less intelligent. Less. That's the result of worshiping lower beings. And the rituals which are involved in also of low quality, dealing with all these hobgoblins, is very low. And with this kind of consciousness, one cannot appreciate Krishna consciousness. So it is very dangerous to worship all these lower beings, even though they are giving us some material benefit. They cannot help us ultimately. In fact, the benedictions which we get from demigods, or from lower beings, they are actually punishment. But because our intelligence is so low, we think that it is wonderful. But actually, it is punishment. Actually, the punishment. Since gratification is so dangerous that it blinds us from our self-interest. Sense gratification makes everyone to remain on the body platform, forgetting the goal of life. It helps us to remain longer in the material world. Therefore, it's dangerous. That is how sense gratification is so dangerous. Throughout the purport of Prabhupada, he's speaking about sense gratification, because it is very, very dangerous. It will keep us in a material consciousness, life after life, and to stay in this material world, it is not wonderful. It is not wonderful. Just imagine the life of a hog, even in Vrindavan. How wonderful is it? Throughout the whole of their lifetime, one is associating with death. How wonderful is that? Made the consciousness very low. So Krishna is giving us the vision to understand the different classes of people and our activities, as well as the result. Now it is clearly described here that those who are in the mode of passion worship and create such God. And those who are in the mode of ignorance, in darkness, worship their spirit. Sometimes, people worship at the tomb of some dead man. Sexual service is also considered to be in the mode of darkness. Similarly, in remote villages in India, they are worshippers of ghosts. Not only in India, in Africa, in Brazil, in South America, all these are very common. All this, there are so many societies who are into worshipping spirit and ghosts. Mauritius, all these places, worshipping lower personalities. So majority of people are possessed by ghosts. At the T-junction, people are worshipping all kinds of sacrifices in darkness. And you see in many places. In Brazil you see, in Africa you see, in Mauritius you see, here in India, that's what you see. They are very common. We have seen that in India, the lower class people sometimes go to the forest. And if they have knowledge that a ghost lives in the tree, they worship that tree and offer sacrifices. Another danger in this kind of worship is that the people who worship things like this, and they have gotten some power, the idea is to fight each other will come naturally. Using this energy for people. It's very, very common. And people are hunting each other. Instead of supporting each other to become devotees, become serious in Christian consciousness, persons who are engaged in this kind of activity be hunting each other with this kind of spirit and energy. These different kinds of worship are not actually God worship. God worship is for persons who are transcendentally situated in pure goodness. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 3, Text 23, it is said, Sattvam Visudham Vasudeva Sat Ditam. When a man is situated in pure goodness, he worships Vasudeva. The purpose is that those who are completely purified of the material modes of nature and who are transcendentally situated can worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we are reading this afternoon that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, he came in different incarnations. His purpose is to reclaim those who are in pure goodness. Those who are in pure goodness can easily understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They can easily understand why one should become a devotee and worship Krishna. But in the mode of ignorance and passion, devotional service is very difficult. Devotional service is not easy. It's a hard struggle. And that is why people will consider to take to the lower part, which is easier. Not living a regulated life is animal life, not a human life. Human beings should be regulated. So when you take into a religion because it is simple and easy, that is animal life. And one cannot expect a wonderful result from such a worship. Worshipping Krishna is meant for those who are in pure goodness. Krishna is understandable by pure devotion. So he worshipped by devotees who are really serious for liberation. The impersonalists are supposed to be situated in a mode of goodness, and they worship 5 kinds of demigods. They worship the impersonal Vishnu form in the material world, which is known as philosophized Vishnu. Vishnu is the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the impersonalists, because they do not ultimately believe in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, imagine that the Vishnu form is just another aspect of the impersonal Brahman. The impersonalists, they worship, they may also worship deities. So one may think, oh, they're worshiping deities also. But they are worshiping deity as a means to become Brahman, not to become personal. The devotees are worshiping Lord Krishna to establish their relationship with Krishna, that they will worship Krishna as a person eternally. But the impersonally, they are worshiping Krishna with the intention that after, this is just the means to attain Brahman. After Brahman, no more worship of form. In other words, they consider the form to be inferior to Brahman. But this is ignorance. It's ignorance because what the senses, what the form, we have senses which we use to gratify the senses. There are so many sense gratificatory accessories, and that can happen only because we have a form. But impersonally, understanding is that after liberation, you have no form to enjoy. So which one is better? As a condition, so with the forms to enjoy, or to be impersonal and there's no enjoyment? Less intelligent. Better to have the form and enjoy. So we should not think that the impersonally worshiping the deity, it is the same with the devotees worshiping the deity. Their understanding is different from the understanding of devotees who are worshiping the deity in the temple. Similarly, they imagine that Lord Brahma is an impersonal form in the material mode of passion. Thus, they sometimes describe 5 kinds of God that are worshipable. But because they think that the actual truth is impersonal Brahman, they dispose of all worshipable objects at the ultimate end. In conclusion, the different qualities of the material modes of nature can be purified through association with persons who are of transcendental nature. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Comments or question? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your time. I would like to know that, demigods don't even have half the qualities. Some of them have 56 qualities, etc. Like Lord Shiva. But why use the word God for them, even if it's demi?
Because they are thousands of times superior to us. Demigods are thousands of times superior to us. So they are called demigods. Second reason, because they are empowered to represent Krishna in his material management. They are called demigods, small. They have more power than us. Just like here in the material world, a human being is appointed to a particular post. He has so much respect because of the position. Although he may not have wonderful qualities, but because of his position, he's giving so much respect. So much respect is there. So demigods are called demi, small, because of their position. Like Indra, you'll see that Indra did so many sinful things, so many. But every time, Krishna protected him. Krishna defended Indra for so many sinful activities. Like stealing the horse of Tutu Maharaj. who is a superior devotee to Indra. And not only stealing, which is very bad, he introduced a very dangerous religion. Indra introduced a religion which is followed by Jain society today. So that is not his duty. Although Krishna came basically to tell Prithu Maharaj, you have done 99. That is all right. You should better end it here, so that you don't give chance to Indra to continue with his dangerous act. Krishna didn't tell Indra that why are you disturbing a devotee? You should stop this thing. Krishna told the devotee, Prithu Maharaj, stop this sacrifice so that Indra can stop his sinful deed. Because Krishna knew Indra is bent on his devilish mentality, because he does not want second Indra. If Prithu Maharaj completes his 100 sacrifice, he's going to be Indra. Of course, that was not the intention, but because Indra is envious, demigods are not free, they're not pure devotee. They are on a position because of desires. Unlike pure devotees who are on a position not for material desire, but for position. But Krishna protects him because of his position. So they are giving that special facility.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Microphone.
The gopis worshipped Katyayani for getting Krishna as their husband.
Yes.
But the ultimate aim is of course Krishna. But they worshipped Katyayani. How this was not decided by Krishna?
Yes, Krishna was teaching in that pastime that if it is for him, demigod worship is recognized. So Krishna is teaching that this pastime. For him, you can worship demigods, no problem. For sense gratification, worshiping demigod is dangerous. But for him, it's okay. We can worship that. Krishna is satisfied with it. And at that time, Krishna was here. Here in Vrindavan, people worship Surya. Nanda Maharaj, they worship Surya. Although Krishna was here, but that was what they worship. Of course, that Surya they worship is not Surya the demigod, it's Surya Krishna. So Krishna is also Surya, one of his names. Surya Dev. And in Dwaraka, they worship demigod. When Krishna went to the forest over the Shamantaka jewel, the Dwarkavasis, they went to worship demigods to get Krishna back. So for Krishna, they can worship demigods. It's okay. Apart from gopis who worship Katyayani for Krishna, who else? No one else worship Katyayani.
My question is that in my village, people worship every god. It means demigods, spirits, Krishna, Durga, every god. So in which type of person they are? Sattvic, Rajas or Tamas?
Rajas, Tamastic.
They worship everybody, even Krishna.
Yes.
And spirits, everything.
Yes.
So they are Tamas.
Tamas. Worship everything means you don't know what you are doing. So if you don't know what you are doing, everything is okay. There is a saying that for one who does not know, any way is a way. But not all the ways lead to the same destination, right? So for people who are worshiping everybody, that means they are confused. Tamasic. For those who are in goodness, they know that Krishna is the supreme above all. So they worship Krishna. They don't worship everything. Like, you go to the temple there, whom do you see there? Only Krishna. And Krishna's different expansions. You can't see any demigods there. It is not that we don't respect the demigods. We respect the demigods, but we don't worship. To respect is different from worship. So we should worship only Krishna. Yes. That has come.
To that point, there is an expression, I guess practically in every culture. Anyone who has so many masters has no master at all.
Yes.
I don't know if it's prevalent in India, but this is what the expression goes in America.
Yes.
In Europe also.
Everywhere. When you have everybody as a master, they know what is your master. Or they say, this is saying, jack of all trades, but master of none. It's foolishness, it's ignorance. We should have a focus. This was one of the reasons yesterday was not happy after compiling the scripture. After compiling the scripture, there are so many things inside. And he studied the Vedas, there is no focus. There's so many things are there. Pantheism, you can worship anything. Cat is God, dog is God, pig is God, tree is God, every person is God. So no direction, no focus. If you accept the demigods to be gods, like in your village, they have so many people they worship, right? But we have 33 million demigods. And you have selected some few to worship. What about others? They'll be happy? Are they not also taking care of us? For us to move, we need a demigod. For us to digest our food, we need demigods. For the sun, we need demigods. For rain, we need demigods. If you select only a few out of 33 million, what about the remaining ones? Even for us to blink our eyes, we need demigods. Everything to breathe, we need demigods. So it's an offense of other demigods when we select some and we're leaving some. Right? So we should take only Krishna, because Krishna is the supreme head. And if Krishna is worshipped, everyone will be satisfied. Yes, sir.
Krishna, I should just understand, you say the worshipping is good because they are accepting some form. By this form they are worshipping. But nowadays we are seeing this sampradaya, different is coming, they are saying Nar Seva, Narayan Seva. In this way they are worshipping human form. this is also Mayavad. How you can accept this is also good?
Worshipping a man as God is ignorance. Tamasik. Purport mentioned in the purport. Tamasik. How can God grow old? Old age means what? When growing old means what? We're going to die. So if God dies, what will happen to the creation? Worshipping a man is ignorance. Even though the person is powerful or have mystic power, it's ignorance. That Bhaktivinoda Thakur checked it when he was in government. He checked that. All the imposters, he arrested all of them and dealt with them seriously. And he introduced Christian worship as a supreme personality of God. Yes, sir.
Srila Prabhupada said that our material qualities can be purified by association with devotees.
Yes.
Who is transcendentalist. But not all people can get at this association. And not all time. What we should do?
So what to do? The facility is available, pure devotees are there. So if we don't make effort to go and associate with pure devotees, what to do? What can we do? What can be done? Pure devotees should do what? Prabhupada has already established so many things. Harinam in the book distribution, the food for life, so many things, lectures in the temple, books he has given. So if we don't avail ourselves of this wonderful opportunity, what can be done? Human beings should make effort to get some connection with the devotees and hear about Krishna. So we don't make effort, what to do? We cannot go and break someone's head, become a devotee. Okay? We should make effort. Alright? So make effort. Yes, last question.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. I have two questions, Maharaj. One is the impersonalist. At last, at the ultimate end, they dispose all kind of worships. Why?
Because they think that worshipping deity is just a means to get to Brahman, and when you get to Brahman, no form. So it's just the means, not the end. The form is not the end, just the means. It's a creation of Maya. So perfection means no form, everything is zero. So they are not worshipping a deity like a devotee worshipping deity. A devotee worshipping the deity that this is just the beginning, and at the end of perfection, it's not just the deity now. Krishna, I will have direct communication with Krishna as a person. So devotees worship the deity, but not true for the impersonalist.
Second question is, Krishna himself said, Sarvasya Chaham Krishna, I am the knowledge, I am given the knowledge, everything. Why Krishna revealed to them to know that I am Brahman, I am Paramatma, at least ultimately I am the Bhagavan. Why the Lord not revealed to them?
Yes, it is not Krishna who is making anyone to forget. It is not. It is we who wants to forget, and Krishna is simply facilitating that. When we want to know, Krishna also will help us to know. We want to forget, Krishna will help us to forget. He is a supreme lovable Father who is reciprocating with our dealings with him. It's not that Krishna is sitting there, oh, you want to forget. No, you forget, you remember. No. We want to forget. So Krishna helps us to forget. He wants to remember. He helps us to remember. It's our choice. And Krishna is simply helping us that way. Why Krishna is sitting in the heart? We didn't invite him to sit with us. He is sitting there out of his costless mercy, and every time he is speaking to us. There is no time Krishna is not speaking. But we don't hear. And Krishna is speaking, oh, next time. Turn to me, oh, next time. I'll turn to you next time. Now I have a very important thing to do. Next time. Next time. Next time. And we have been here. Next time. He's keeping us here. It's our choice. We should listen to Krishna and we'll be saved. He will give us the remembrance. He will give us Deshan Satatayum Tanam Badatam Priti Purvakam. That I need Buddhist Yogam Tam Yenamano Payat. What we want, He will help us. If you want to forget, He will give us forgetfulness. So it is not Krishna who is causing us to forget to remember. We are causing it. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.